Hello there. We start in the United States, where shares in the cinema chain AMC nearly doubled on Wednesday amid frenzied trading by retail investors. They're up nearly 3,000% since this time last year, the latest example of the investment craze for meme stocks, hyped on forums and social media. From New York, Michelle Fleury reports. Hello, this is BBC News with the latest headlines for viewers in the UK and around the world. I'm Victoria Fritz. Hello there and a very warm welcome to BBC News. Opposition parties in Israel have joined forces and agreed to form a new coalition government, a move that could end the 12-year reign of Benjamin Netanyahu as Prime Minister. His time in office is the longest in Israel's history and is still subject to a vote of confidence in Parliament, probably next week. If that fails, then there is a risk the country would have to hold another election, the fifth in the last 2.5 years. Mark Lebel reports. Well, joining me now is Tal Schneider. She's the diplomatic and political correspondent for The Times of Israel. Tal, thank you very much for joining us. I know you've been up for many hours at this meeting of the three leaders. Now, they're already partying in the streets, as that news package from Mark Lebel showed there. But do you think this coalition is likely to survive the vote and hold? We're looking at a 61-59 majority at best. Between these leaders has been of everyday issues, of things like healthcare and education. Nothing really on how to manage or even heal the huge rifts and ruptures in Israeli society over race and religion. Moment really interesting. Thanks very much, Tal Schneider from Tel Aviv for us today. Okay. Now let's check in with some of the other day's news. We're going to start in Colombia. Now, I know you're counting, I certainly am. There are 50 days left until the delayed Summer Olympic Games are due to kick off in Tokyo. But there's a lot of debate over whether they should go ahead at all. The International Olympic Committee insists that the event can be held safely. Pardon me, but not many people in Japan are that convinced. Well, let's get Oi. Now, Mariko, there's been a lot of opposition to this, but some people do actually want this to go ahead, don't they? That's right. Thanks very much, Mariko Oi, in Singapore for us today. Now to Sri Lanka, where a chemical-laden cargo ship is sinking off the west coast. It sparked fears of an environmental disaster and has been labelled a death blow to the country's fishing industry. Tanya Dendridos has this report. Well, do stay with us here on BBC News. Still to come, it's our most... Hello, welcome back. This is BBC News, the latest headlines for you. Now, health ministers from the rich and powerful G7 countries are meeting in Oxford this week with the key focus on preventing new diseases emerging and causing pandemics. But there are urgent calls from UN agencies, charities and scientists from right across the world for these countries to also deal with the current pandemic by sharing their supplies of COVID vaccines now. Let's hear from the BBC's global health correspondent, Tulip Muzumdar. Okay, it's time to have a quick look at some sports news for you now. Thanks very much, Austin. Now to space. I mean, where else? NASA has announced that it's sending not one but two new missions to Venus in order to examine the planet's atmosphere and geological features. The missions are scheduled to launch at the end of the decade. Now, NASA's last Venus orbiter was Magellan, which reached the planet all the way back in 1990. Since then, there have only been flybys. So why this announcement now? Well, Kailash Kalidos has got probably the best business card on the planet, NASA's Solar System Ambassador, and he explained the mission's aims. We've got the business news coming up in 5 minutes. I'll see you then. Bye-bye. Hello, this is BBC News with the latest business headlines for viewers in the UK and around the world. Hello there. We start in the United States, where shares in the cinema chain AMC nearly doubled on Wednesday amid frenzied trading by retail investors. They're up nearly 3,000% since this time last year, the latest example of the investment craze for meme stocks, hyped on forums and social media. From New York, Michelle Fleury reports. Michelle Fleury there. Now here, as you can see, is Susanna Streeter. She's a Senior Investment Analyst at Hargreaves Lansdown. She's based in Bristol in the west of England. It's good to see you, Susanna. Now, looking at your platform, these shares are selling like hotcakes. It's easy to dismiss this, isn't it, these meme stocks? But is there any logic at all to this investment?